this structure from a 3D perspective. So this is the structure from the top view. These are the embankments, the guide banks or guide buns. This one and this one, they are the marginal embankments which will be provided for a very long length to the upstream, so that it is the upstream, that means this area and this area are protected from the raised water level. Now, this is the off-taking canal. This is the weir, and this part is just a road or a bridge over the whole structure so that some transportation is possible. Now, the scale of this whole project may not be very accurate. Just to give you an idea, this is a figure of a person, so you can guess how big something can be. Now, this is the embankment that is provided, and it is provided with a curved head, and the downstream end is also provided with some curve. So water comes in from this direction, and here it is stored and the level is raised because of this weir, and this divide wall makes sure that in this portion the water is not having lots of secondary currents or eddies. Now, this portion is called a fish ladder. It's a long channel connecting the upstream and downstream of the weir, and it is provided with these kind of small walls projecting from both sides of the canal. What happens is, water when flowing through this will have to take a very zigzag path like this, and therefore its velocity will be reduced. When its velocity is reduced, fish from the downstream can possibly swim upstream, because now those fish have to overcome only a small velocity of water. Otherwise, it is very difficult for them to swim upstream and cross this barrier. Now, the off-taking canal is fed by these kind of work, which is called a head regulator. So a head regulator is provided with these kind of gates. So these are the gates. So mostly these are made of metal, and they are raised or lowered based on need. So here I have only shown this kind of a steering or screw thread arrangement. If you rotate this, it will be either lowered or raised. But in most cases, instead of this kind of an arrangement, some machine arrangement is provided where a motor, electric motor, generally rotates a spindle, and that spindle raises or lowers the gate. Now, this is something called, this part, these tunnels are called silt excluders. What they do is, when water flows to this location, the silt carried by the water will be mostly carried near the lower part of the flow. So that part enters this portion, these tunnels. If you see, those tunnels lead to the downstream. These are some more gates here, here, here. Each of those gates are supposed opened by a different amount. Now, in this part, all the silts that are carried by the water will be stored and trapped, so that water entering through these openings will be relatively clear, and therefore in this canal we get some cleaner water. So this canal will go a long way based on the command area. Now there is something else called an undersluice gate. So these undersluices are again gates. So these gates are opened or closed. So these are the gates. These are opened or closed based on need, so that water from the upstream can be released to the downstream. Generally they are not closed together to the complete extent. Only a few of the gates are closed, or they are partially opened, so that a controlled amount of water is released to the downstream. So this is what